that quickly? Okay, I know I'm gonna do that and that and that and that. I already have that written down. So fractions and division, like if I have 4/5 divided by 2/3. Alex is gonna tell you, flip it, multiply, blah, blah, blah. And I'm gonna come around and put my hand over the screen and say, please don't write it down. Don't take notes on it. Do it in your calculator. So in your calculator, you are just going to parentheses, 4 divided by 5 parentheses, divided by parentheses, 2 divided by 3 parentheses. So you have to write each fraction in parentheses with the division sign in the middle. And then you're going to math, enter the answer. That's it. Oop, there it is. So just like you did addition, subtraction, multiplication, you're going to do division the same way. That's why we bought an expensive calculator. It knows what to do. Just like your calculator knew how to get common denominators, you didn't have to do it. Your calculator knows how to flip. Yep. Changing a decimal into an improper fraction. So if I give you 0.456, oh, this is how they do it. They want me to change that to a mixed number, and they want me to change that to an improper fraction. Whoever asked me that, is that the one that you're wanting? Is that the one? Okay, so we have this number, 2.456, and they want me to write it as a mixed number, and they want me to write it as an improper fraction. Well, y'all, I've been kind of trying to get you there. So when I say mixed number, what should you automatically think in your head?
You got a whole number?
A whole number with a fraction. So in my calculator, how do I separate that? Take away the dollars, math, enter the change. Take away the 2. So for this problem, I'm going to type in the problem, because I really don't have a problem, I just have an answer. So there's my answer. I'm going to do the mixed number, I'm going to subtract the dollars, and then I'm going to math, enter the change. So when it says mixed number, it's just making sure that I'm on my game. It's 2 and 57 over 125. So they just want to know that mixed number is when you subtract the dollars and you math, enter the change. That's what you're going to do when it says mixed number. Now, when it says improper fraction, when it just says turn me into a fraction, what do? Math, enter. We don't take away the dollars. So if we just want an improper fraction, we type in the answer again, and we math, enter. So it's just showing you that, yes, you can write the answer 2 different ways. It's just according to what kind of mood I'm in. So I can take the answer, separate the dollars, math, enter the change, or I can math, enter the whole thing, and I'm going to get a fraction. They're just showing you the 2 different ways we can turn the answer. Does that make sense? Did that help? All right. If you haven't heard the word ratio yet, ratio is a fancy name for fraction. We know y'all don't like that F word. We know y'all don't like fractions. So we called it something else. We called it a ratio. A ratio is a fraction. So if I said write 2:3 as a ratio. Whatever's written first goes on the top. Whatever's written second goes on the bottom. That's it. So, and you're going, that's it?
For real.
For real, for real? For real, for real. That's it. Now, if I say 2.7 to 3.9 as a reduced ratio, well, you're going to do the 2.7 over the 3.9, and then how do I reduce it? How do I reduce it in my calculator?
Would you wrap it up?
And then do what? Math enter, enter. So, I had to know first what y'all, math is a foreign language. You have to know the language. So once you know what it's telling me to do, there's your answer.
All ratio is just turning it into a fraction.
Ratio cannot be a mixed number. Ratio cannot be a whole number. Ratio has to be a fraction. So it's okay. So if I said, write 10 to 5 as a ratio, it would be 10 over 5, which reduces to what? 2, but I would have to write it as 2 over 1, because ratio has to be a fraction. It can't be a mixed number, it can't be a whole number. So this is an okay time. So if I had write 9 to 6 as a ratio, that would be 9 over 6, which becomes 3 over 2. Ratios are not mixed numbers, ratios are not whole numbers, ratios are fractions only. Now, then they get harder. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What if I said, write a ratio of blue to red? Write a ratio of blue to all.
2 to 6. I'm on 5. And that's because it can't be a fraction.
They didn't tell me to reduce it. They didn't tell me to, they didn't say write it as a fraction. They just said write it as a ratio. Ratio can, is over of. I got you, boo. Is over of. I got you. We'll do that one. Is over of. Does that make sense with ratio? Now, another one, I had a couple email me over the weekend about the next one. Some of you may remember that from high school. Is over of equals percent over 100. Alex is going to explain 10 different ways to do these problems. Don't listen to him. This is how you want to do it. What is 10% of 30? 15 is 30% of what? And let's do another one. 2.5 is what percent of 10? Now, you know that these problems are screaming is over of. When they're short, cute, have a couple of numbers and a couple of words, and the words are is, of, and percent. These are screaming is over of. Okay? So all three of these problems are is over of equals percent over 100. Is over of equals percent over 100. And is over of equals percent over 100. Now, some of you are going to be really good at this, and some of you are going to suck at this, so I'm going to do a couple of them. When you read the problem, it tells you where to put things. What is 10% of 30? So, your is what you don't know. Your percent is going to be 10. And your of is going to be 30. And percent is always over 100, because if you make a 30% on a test, it's 30 out of 100. So my problem is x over 30 equals 10 over 100. What is 10% of 30? Now, I have some people say, well, Ms. Cooper, the number 10 is beside the word is and the percent sign. Well, if you look real closely, it's 10%. What is 10% of 30? Now, once you get it set up, here's what you do. You multiply the two numbers that are diagonally across from each other, and you divide by the loner. You multiply the two numbers that are diagonally across from each other, and you divide by the loaner. So it's going to be 30 times 10 divided by 100. So the answer to this problem is going to be 3. So you have three things. Either it is, an of, or a percent. So for the second one, where do you think the 15 is going? 15 is. Where's the 30 going? 30%.
Oh, snap.
Oh, snap. You not the only one. Of what? Okay, so 15 is my is, 30 is my percent, and of is what I don't know. So it's going to be 15 over x, 30 over 100. 15 is 30% of what? Now you're going to cross multiply. What two numbers am I going to multiply?
15 and 100.
15 and 100, and I'm going to divide by 30. So I'm going to do 15 times 100 divided by 30. I made these numbers up, so it's probably not pretty. I got lucky. Yes, it is. The answer to that one's going to be 50. Yay? All right, let's read the next one. Where does the 2.5 go? 2.5 is, we only have one number left. What is it next to? Of 10. So the only words that are left, what percent? So let's read it. 2.5 is what percent of 10? So 2.5 is your is. What's your percent of 10? Multiply the numbers that are diagonally across and divide by your loaner. So it's going to be, did I give you another good one? Let's be living right. Now, for the first problem, and they're going to mark you wrong if you put a percent sign and it's not a percent, or if you don't put a percent sign and it should be a percent. For this first one, can you see that we're solving for is? It's here top left, which is my is. Here we're solving for bottom left, which is my of. Here I'm solving for percent. So the only time that you put a percent sign is when you're solving for the percent spot. So if your question says, what percent? That's when you have to put a percent sign on your answer.
So last one was 25%?
25%. And if you don't put a percent sign, they're going to mark it wrong if you just put 25. The first two did not have percent signs because you were solving for the is and the of. Does that help? Andrea, did that help? Do I need to do another one? Now, y'all, when you get ready to, those of you who are doing is over of now, you're going to start doing what I call is over of word problems. So let me show you one of those. In your formula sheet, and we hadn't used the formula sheet that much, but let me pull up the formula sheet because there is something on your formula sheet. And it's going to be right after you do those is over of problems. See how right here is over of is written right there? And then you have A over B with all this stuff down here. Okay, so we just did is over of. Well, then you're going to start getting problems like 24% of the school goes part-time. If 34,000 people go part-time, how many people go to the school? Now, this is not an is over of problem because it's not what is 5% of 30. It's not short, cute, and a couple words. So this is what I call an A over B. I've given you different things for what A can be, and I've given you different things of what B can be, and you know what percent means. So, do you agree this problem is not talking about how much tip you need to leave? And it's not talking about sales tax. And it's not talking about what's the difference between this, and it's not talking about a discount, and it's not talking about commission. It's talking about part of the people go part-time, how many people are in the school. So it's talking about what's part-time and how many total people. So for this problem, I'm going to do A over B equals percent over 100. This is going to be my part. This is going to be my whole. And I just got it from reading the problem. Oh, it's talking about a part and a whole. So, I have two numbers. Where do you think that's going? In your percent. And where do you think this is going? Your A or your B?
A.
Because A is your part-time student. So A is going to be your part-time. Because look at your question. How many people go to the school? So you're wanting to know the whole. So the whole is what we're trying to find. So it's going to be 34,000 over X equals 24 over 100. And then you're going to say, Ms. Cooper, go away. I know what to do now. You know what numbers to multiply. What do I multiply? 34,000 times 100 divided by 24. So X would be, and again I made it up, so 667, if we had to round it. Good? So let me give you another one. Let's say we sell cars and we make $700 selling $20,000 car. What percent do we make in commission? Now, for those of you who don't know about commission, if you ever go in a store and there's like people who say, can I help you? Here's the bag. Can I help you? Can I help you? And then when you go check out, they said, who helped you? They get paid by commission, which means the more they get associated with their name, the more they make. But if you go in a store and you can't find anybody to help you, that means they all get paid the same amount, whether they do jack squat or not. So if you go buy a car or you go buy a house, they're going to show you that house on Sunday afternoon. They'll show you that house at midnight if you want to go, because the more they sell the houses, the more money they make. If you go buy a car, they're all going to attack you at the door. I call them lot lizards. They're going to attack you because the more car, and they're going to try to put you in the most expensive car, because the more you buy, the more they make. It's kind of like doing a drug deal. The more drugs you sell, the more you pocket. What you pocket, your cut, is your commission. So the commission is what you're pocketing. I watch it on Live PD. So, I'm going to call this an A over B problem, percent over 100. So, this problem is talking about commission and total. So, commission is going to be my A, total is going to be my B. So, this is my commission or my cut, and this is going to be my total or what I sell. So, tell me where I'm going to put my numbers. Where does the 700 go? That's my A, that's my cut, that's my paycheck. Where's the 20 grand going? That's my B, that's the total amount I sold. And I'm trying to find the percent, which is here. So, I'm going to do 700 times 100 divided by 20,000. So, I'm making 3.5% of what I sell. So, I make, and remember, I have to put my percent sign because I'm in the percent spot. So, I make 3.5% of everything I sell. Amen. Give me a bigger cut. We good? Now, next thing y'all were on the struggle bus with. Most of y'all know the difference between prime and composite, but I'm going to go over it again because I'm getting ready to talk about prime factors. Prime numbers are numbers that only one in itself can go into. Somebody give me an example of a prime number. 3, 2, 5,
9,
7.
11,
11,
19.
19, 17, 23. So if you cannot think of a number that will go into it evenly, that makes it a prime. 1 goes into everything. So, at first I heard him say 9, you get on that odd number. 3, 5, 7, 9. Ooh, 9 doesn't work because 3 goes into it. 1 is neither prime nor composite. 1 is that number that doesn't, because the definition says 1 and itself. Well, because 1 is itself, it really kind of breaks the rule. So 1 is neither prime nor composite. Now, a composite number is if something else goes into it. Like 10. 2 goes into it, 5 goes into it, 1 goes into it, 10 goes into it. So if I can think of something other than 1 in itself, that makes it composite. 12, 2, 3, 6, that's composite. 21, everybody's like, 21 looks prime. 3 times 7. Yay? All right, so we know the difference between prime numbers and composite numbers. Well, now we're going to talk about, first we're going to talk about factors. Factors are numbers that go into a number evenly. So if I want to know what are the factors of 40, what are the numbers that go into 40 evenly? Give me 2, 25, 10. Well, the problem is, if you have one of these and you just start giving me numbers, you're going to leave something out. And y'all are going to miss this because you leave something out. This one's not that bad, but what if I said, give me the factors of 300? You're likely to leave something out. So you've got to be systematic when you do your factors. My daughter's 11 now, but when she was tiny, we would go shopping, and I'm like, you only go to the right, Madison. We don't look around the mall, we go to the right. So when you walk in, you go to the right, you look only in the right stores, so that when you come out, you go to the right, you look in the right stores. I don't care if Disney's over there, we'll get to it eventually. So you get all the way around the mall by going to the right, going to the right, going to the right, going to the right, so that when you get to a store you've already been to, then you know you're done. Plus you don't have to think about where you parked. Plus I don't miss any stores and I get to shop everywhere. So I systematically have to do it so that I can't miss anything. So that's what I'm going to do here. So when I married my husband, he's like, Bass Pro's over there. And Master said, to the right, Jojo, to the right. We can't go anywhere else, we got to go to the right. So we finally taught him. So when we do when we do factors, 1 goes into everything. How many times will 1 go into 40? 40. And if you're not sure, go to your calculator. We can do 40 divided by 1. Because now some of you are calling me over going, can we do this in our calculator? Partly. Then we go to 2. Will 2 go into 40? Some of y'all know, some of y'all don't. Some will do it in your calculator. It goes 20 times. Then we go to 3. We know that 3 does not go, and the reason we know is because it's not a whole number. So then we go to 4. 4 goes in there 10 times. So 4 times 10. So do you see that as I'm counting up, the partners are counting back? So you need to write him and his partner so you can close